Hey everyone, and welcome back. I want to show you a couple of prototypes that I just built that I think will be really helpful for you to think about how to use micro interactions in these scenarios of having overlays, and also to showcase different areas where we can really draw attention for users. So let's jump right in. So I put together this prototype very similar to what you have seen over here. Some of the naming conventions have been changed. I don't have this container for promotion to go back. So that's one thing about prototypes. You may be changing the actual structure of the designs just to showcase the interaction. So that's something you just need to be very thoughtful about when you're communicating that to your team, because if developers are looking at these designs, they're going to be following them sometimes to a T, and you don't want to have any mess ups like that. So you'll have your main design file that will have a really nice structure, and then you'll have these different pages that show the interactions. That's why I usually have a designs page and a prototype page. This is kind of what I've been doing just to showcase to all of you how to design and prototype, but all my prototypes are living in this design page. When you get the file, you'll notice that they're all in the prototypes page. So I'm here in Figma and I have this other prototype, and what I wanted to showcase here is how to add something to your cart. Now, we're going to still have that dragging interaction here, and I'll go through that a bit. So I just applied a very similar dragging interaction, and then I have a clicking interaction. And what I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to be changing the color. So you'll notice there's a lot of screens here. That's totally fine if you really want to go into depth, because we're going to be doing a little bit of a bubbly pop with our button here. But I have this item page screen, and then in the overlay, I have this icon, and it's called add. And then there's another frame inside of it with the actual icon that has the vector. So selecting this add button, I actually have the interaction on the whole title here, just so it's easier for people to click, but the interaction is always going to be on that button. So in this screen, let's take a look at what we've done here. So I do have it just to smart animate. It's going to be really quick. It's just going to change colors. We could probably even bump that up a bit to like 100. So it's going to change colors. And then we're going to have an after delay of 1 millisecond, another 100 millisecond animation. And we are going to actually change this button a bit. So let me show you what I have here. So I did keep the exact same button and the exact same naming conventions, but I changed this vector from the plus to a check. And I'm just using the Google plugin for material design. It's super helpful. I've showed it a couple times already through the course, but we're going to get a little bit of like a transition from the plus to the check. It's not going to be perfect. We can actually go in and really perfect that like we did with like buttons, but we're going to keep this very simple and we'll just have it dissolve a bit. I've also increased the actual size of the button. You'll see that it is going beyond the borders of this one frame. And then after that, we're going to have another after delay, 100 milliseconds, and it's going to shrink. And we are going to keep it the same. I have a larger animation here, and you'll notice that once an interaction plays out, then we're just using after delay to simulate how the rest of the interaction plays out. So if there's like a cause and effect, especially in this scenario, we have the cause being adding something to your cart and then having the cart pop up in your bottom right hand corner. So it's easy for you to click. It's bringing immediate attention to your cart in this screen where you didn't notice it before. So we have this cart container pop up from the bottom. If you notice in this screen, I have it right here off the screen. So I'm going to bring that up just so you can see. So it's right there. It's going to be off the screen. And then in the final frame, we're going to do another after delay, but we're going to apply an actual delay here and have this button swap back to the plus button. So you could go ahead and even build upon this and create a button that has the ability to add more. Right now, it's just a plus button, so you don't know if you have a cheese pizza in your cart. It'd be really cool to see maybe a 1 in this circle over here, and then when you click it, it gives you the check mark, and then it says 2. So that would be really cool. Or it could be more traditional where there's like a minus sign and a plus sign, and hitting one of those different buttons will trigger a minus or a plus. So that would be really cool too. Okay, let's take a look at how this actually plays out. So there it is. And just remember, it's always best to try and keep these as neat as possible. Sometimes I don't, but usually I do. And especially in order that I have them, like this. So this is really neat. So here it is, Microinteractions, and you got your floating cart. So we have this same type of overlay parenting effect where everything is basically married to this main container here. So whether it shrinks or grows, the content around it's going to be affected in some way. So let's click this button here. So now we can. So that was pretty cool. Let's do that again. So there was one little flash, and I'm going to go take a look at that in a second. Let's do it one more time. So we'll see the button movement and then the pop-up. So that's really cool. Now let's go see where that flash came from. It could be a naming convention that we didn't use properly. So we have pizza image, pizza image. Oh, there it is. So we have the frame. So we can remove that frame. It's Shift Command G to remove frame. Let's take a look at this screen. This is the ungroup, Shift Command G. You'll find yours if you need to. Sometimes it's kind of hard to remember all the shortcuts, and it just comes with time. So let's go see if that solved itself. Great, that's looking super smooth. And that's how you create a really nice micro interaction within your overlay.